Welcome to Roscoe Squeeze Off, the podcast. It's your boy Roscoe Squeeze Off, world's foremost authority on all things that matter. I am the same Roscoe Squeeze Off from the Show on the Go podcast, which definitely check that out as well. It's a great show with me, my partner Rich Blackman, and Needy Savage. And we've been doing special guests for a little while as Needy has been out. All right, let me get back to Roscoe Squeeze Off, the podcast. It's my sports podcast. Today I want to talk about the Gervonte Davis-Leo Santa Cruz fight coming up this weekend, Saturday, October 31st. We just had a great fight, and TFM, we use the word great so much, but very, very good fight. Chess match with Teofimo Lopez beating Vasily Lomachenko, which was a big surprise. Now, this fight right here, the favorite is going to be Tank Davis, most likely because of his, and I intentionally did not, I don't want to look it up yet. I don't want to know. I'll probably look it up the same day or the day before, which is 2 days before the fight now. I don't want to know who Vegas is betting on. I'm guessing it's going to be Tank Davis because of his power, and he's probably the naturally heavier man, even though Santa Cruz is, I believe, is 2 inches taller, has the reach by 2 inches as well, and Santa Cruz is not known for his power. Now, he does have 19 KOs in his 37 fights, but he overwhelms people because of his punching output. His punching output is almost legendary. I mean, it is nothing for this guy to put up 100 punches thrown in a round. The guy has overwhelmed people like Abner Mares, true stars. Remember, a few years ago, maybe about 2 years ago, I think it was 2 years ago now, Gervonte Davis was supposed to fight Abner Mares, but then Mares had like an eye injury in practice or something to that effect. Now, this fight is important for both fighters because they're both going to be fighting at 135, where Gervonte Davis has pretty much fought at 130 most of his career, and he has a title from that division, and he also has one from lightweight because he did fight at lightweight against Jory Boy Campus last time, and they got a vacant belt, I believe he got. And the difference here is Santa Cruz is coming from around, I think he normally fought at 126, was his main weight, was 126 pounds. So now he's going to be fighting he's going to jump, went to 130, but he's going all the way to 135. He already did not have power at the 126, the 130. So now he's at 135. Now, he's the taller man, but he's pretty thin. But if he does not have any power, what's to stop Gervonte Davis or Tank Davis? What's to stop him from literally walking through him, through all of his punches, and really laying wood? Now, that's assuming that Tank Davis has a chin. We don't really know. He's never really been tested on his chin because he's pretty much dominated the majority of his fights. I mean, he's been a more powerful guy when he's fought guys. He has 23 fights. He has 22 KOs. I think in the boxing world, now the problem is Tank Davis is under Mayweather, who is ultimately under Al Heyman. Teofimo Lopez is under Bob Arum, top ranked. Problem with that is they may never ever fight. That's what happens. Kind of like how Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence seems like they're never ever going to fight. Because if Tank Davis goes out here and somehow obliterates a 37 1-1 fighter who never gets really hurt in a fight, who has a super chin in Santa Cruz, let's just say Tank Davis goes out here and obliterates him. Just 2-3 rounds in, lays him out cold. Everyone will probably clamor for him to fight Teofimo Lopez because two guys with power. We saw what power did against Lomachenko. That neutralized him. Now, of course, Lomachenko is just had a shoulder surgery or something, so they're saying he had a shoulder injury now. kind of that whole Manny Pacquiao thing against Mayweather. Hey, I wasn't fully healthy, which is possible. I don't mean to deviate, but boxing is a difficult sport, and I've always said this. The reason it's so difficult is because you plan months out to fight on a certain date. You see what I'm saying? And on that certain date, you got to fight. No matter what happens. Unless you cancel it earlier from an injury or something, you're going to fight it. Especially when there's a lot of money on the line. Like Pacquiao against Mayweather. Let's say something really was wrong. He's not going to miss hundreds of millions well over $100 million that he made. You're not going to blow that. You're going for it. You're going to take that chance and go for it. And that's the problem. In fact, they said at the Duran fight, the man had to poop. The man needed to have a boo-boo. So they said, his stomach wasn't right. That's why he had the No Moss fight. He just had to. People say he was getting outclassed, and that's why he quit, which is possible too. He might have just made that up. But hey, just picture it. We've all had the bubble guts. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. First of all, it's free. The creation tool allows you to record and edit a podcast right from your phone, tablet, computer, what have you. Anchor will distribute the podcast for you so you can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and many more. You make money right from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. All you have to do is download the Anchor app. Go to anchor.fm to get started. Once again, that's anchor.fm to get started making your own podcast today. What happens if you got the bubble guts and you're in a major boxing showdown? You won't be your best with the bubble guts. So that's what kind of makes it kind of tough when you think about it. If you don't feel well, you got to go into it. So I'm not trying to give your boy an excuse as far as, Lomachenko. But hey, he did have a surgery. He is rehabbing now. I guess they'll have to fight twice, even though I don't believe Tiafoe will lose to him because I think the power is just too much. And that's going to keep Lomachenko at bay to some degree in fear of a full exchange because he doesn't want to exchange with such a powerful guy. But back to the main point. Gervonte Davis needs to go out here and expose Leo Santa Cruz as a guy that's not built for the 135 weight class. We know he's a class fighter. He'll probably even be a Hall of Famer one day. He's a really good fighter. He puts out a lot of output. He makes exciting fights because he fights in the true Mexican style of, I'm there to be hit. I'm just going to overwhelm you. My defense is my offense of overwhelming you. I don't know if that's going to work against Gervonte Davis because if he can't hurt Davis to keep him off of him, and Davis can connect, it could be a short night. I'm going to go with Gervonte Davis on this just because of that. I think Cruz has the skills to put pressure on Davis like he's never felt. If it's now let me just throw this out there. If it goes past 5 to 6 rounds, and Gervonte Davis can't connect like he's supposed to because he's being overwhelmed with punches, he can't get to go forward because Santa Cruz is pushing him back, it's a wrap. Santa Cruz will win that fight by decision, and he will dominate on the scorecards with a ton of punches. But if what I think is going to happen, Tank Davis to the body, Tank Davis to the head. Tank Davis is a southpaw. Leo is an orthodox fighter. So I don't know if he can come forward with their lead legs hitting each other right there. It's going to be a little bit different. It's not like the same if they were both orthodox. I just think there's too many advantages with the power. And we saw what the power could do, like I said, with Lopez and Lomachenko. I think Tank Davis is going to obliterate him and clamor for that fight. He may even call, hopefully, I don't know if he does. He never really calls on anybody. But I'd like to see him call out Lopez because those two guys going at it would be the ultimate fight because of the power. It would be explosive. It would be back to Hagler Hearns maybe. Two guys that can just attack each other and blow each other up. And who hits who first with the blow-up shot. Well, let me know what you guys think. Do you think, like I think, that Davis is going to knock out Cruz or at least hurt him badly and make him... I think he's going to knock him out, honestly. I know Cruz has never been in that situation. I just think he's bit off more than he can chew. I don't know. I can't think of anybody in his career that he fought with this type of power. And I think Davis, even when he's not the most disciplined guy, but I think his power is intense. I think kind of like how Lomachenko felt the power of Lopez, and he just couldn't attack the way he normally does. I think power is the ultimate game changer, man. And either you got it or you don't. Or you got to be Mayweather. And what I mean by Mayweather, you have to not be... And Mayweather never fought a guy with explosive one-punch power that I can think of. Maybe Diego Corrales, but he was so much faster at that point in time. Anybody else he fought didn't really have true one-punch... Well, I guess you could say Pacquiao, but Pacquiao at that time with the weight... he hadn't had a knockout in like the last 9 fights prior to that, so his weight was gone. It might have been, drugs, steroids or whatever it was, as they claimed he did. Possibly because his knockouts did go away. But unless you have that ability, you got to be able to take guys' power, man, and everybody can't do it. Everybody doesn't have that Muhammad Ali chin that can rope-a-dope a guy, take Foreman's best punch, and yell at him. My grandmama hit harder than that. A lot of guys can't take these power shots, and it changes how you fight when you get hit. And I think that's what's going to happen here. I think Leo can only come forward, but I don't know if he can put the kind of pressure on Tank Davis that he needs to make sure Tank can't get clean shots on him. And I think it really makes a difference with the southpaw thing, because when your lead legs come at each other, you approach each other a little bit differently than when you can just, like, in concert, orthodox to orthodox or southpaw to southpaw, where you can kind of fit into each other's space. That lead leg, and they both guys wanting to come forward, I think that's going to actually work to Gervonte Davis's advantage. And also, another problem I had with Santa Cruz is he's a guy that normally had the length, because of his, being 5'7" and a half, and only being 126 pounds a lot of his career, 130 pounds. Now he's fighting 135. He doesn't use his height to his advantage. He doesn't use his length to his advantage. And I always thought that was a problem. If you got that height, you have to fight tall. And he's going to give away that advantage. And that's where Tank is going to take advantage. So, once again, it's Roscoe Squeeze Off the podcast. It's your boy Roscoe Squeeze Off of the Show on the Go podcast. Check that out as well. Look forward to talking to you soon. I'm going to throw a few more shows out very quickly here. I'm going to do a full Ravens breakdown for their bye week. And I might even do like a pick 'em for this weekend football games. So once again, Roscoe Squeeze Off the podcast. Your boy Roscoe Squeeze Off. Until next time, peace.